Five, four,
3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to the Ride of Our Lives
Welcome
podcast.
back.
Oh no, not podcast, radio.
Radio.
I'm so sorry.
What's this guy doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to change up the whole brand on episode 2.
I know, this is only our second episode. But welcome to Ride of Our Lives
Radio.
We're back in the same spot that we were recording before, in a parking lot a little adjacent from
An undisclosed
an
location.
undisclosed location. I know. I won't say that.
Whoa.
I don't know how honest we want to be on here. Not too honest.
not
but
too-
we're
not
not
that-
going to lie to you.
She was about to dox.
We're not going to lie to you, but anyways, we're recording again. I have green on my eyes this time. I don't know if it pops
I
up.
noticed and I was just like, wait, is my eyes are like tweaking or something?
No, I normally wear color so much, but yes, last episode I wore all black, and I just felt like that was so not me. So I have green on my eyes because I feel like it's fun to experiment.
I really like that we both wore jeans.
I know, completely
Jean jackets.
unplanned, completely unplanned.
Very planned.
By who?
You're like,
We have our accessories. I have my drink. Well, I finished my drink. Now it's just sad
I finished
boba.
my water. Well,
Look at us.
that was both doing the exact same thing.
Tastes different without the liquid. So anyways,
So today we're going to be talking about how it is to be in behind the camera and in front of the camera.
right. Because we have two totally different perspectives, but also we have two different perspectives of what it's like to work, like you said, behind the camera and in front of the camera. We have lots of different experiences with working with other people and also what it was like working together, creating a project, which we talked a little bit about in the first episode, that we had a photo shoot experience together, which went really great. I think we did insert those photos.
Yeah.
And
We
I-
inserted the photos. I think you guys could get we're going to talk about that photo shoot a lot more in detail,
Right.
and how it is to just like collaborate between model and photographer, but also what it is like, what are my expectations and what expectations that the models has, and vice versa.
Yeah, and then at the end we have a little by the end of the day kind of segment, which we like to do, talking about some advice, and that's kind of what we also wanted to make this episode about, is advice for those who are getting into modeling or into photography, kind of figure out how we can help you.
Yeah, and mostly for this episode, it's kind of just like we're going to be just talking about any tips and tricks that will help you either in any photo shoot, even if it's not editorial or anything like that. These are great tips for like anything, whether that be event photography or weddings or anything like that. These are like great tips that I think could be used in the long run. So, yeah.
And on the model perspective, when it comes to whether you're working with like someone you've never worked with before, like you just meet them online, or you are doing a photo shoot with like just a friend. I mean, these are things that I've learned, I've picked up along the way, for no matter who you work with, just things to keep in mind. And then also the differences, which is something that you have to learn through trial and error. But I've luckily learned with enough trial and error where I can tell you how to avoid some of the not so good things. But that's what the advice section is about.
This is a weird question, but I don't even know if you even know this answer. How many photo shoots do you think you've done?
Over the past 6-ish years, I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. It's under 100. It's under 100. But when I was modeling, my first few years of modeling, I was modeling in a modeling troupe. Actually, I was part of a modeling troupe that Columbia College has. I don't know if you've heard of Picture Perfect, maybe?
Picture Perfect.
It's a very small...
it sounds like my slogan for my my website.
Picture Perfect. It's a very small modeling troupe that was literally part of Columbia College, Chicago. It was like a club, honestly. And my roommate, freshman year, was a model in the troupe, and she said, like, they're having auditions, and it was 2020, and we were all isolated, but I only knew, like, my 3 roommates and, like, a few other friends, and she was like, yeah, they're having auditions, I think, you'd like it, I think you'd have fun, and I auditioned, and we were modeling together, and it was really fun. I honestly made a lot of friends through it, but it also did kind of give me the basics of what it's like to work as a model for fun, and if I wanted to take it further, which I did. But that first year and those first few years, there were so many different photographers and like designers in Colombia, like student photographers, student designers, that just needed models, because they were all creating and they all needed someone to show off their craft. That I was doing photo shoots like every weekend or every other weekend, like my whole freshman year or like my whole sophomore year. Both of them, honestly.
Did you know that I almost went to Columbia College?
Really?
Yeah.
For photography?
For photography. But the only reason why I didn't went was because they were defunding the photography program. And I got a scholarship with them too. And I was just like, I was literally about to like sign everything until I heard from somebody that they were defunding the photography program, and I'm just like, then why am I going?
Wait, when was this? Because
this was a while ago. This was like 2019, maybe 2019, 2018.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know exactly what that means, because I mean the photography program was still there. But yeah. You mean defunding, like they just were not going to give students as much money?
I don't know what that entailed, but I was just like, why?
Either way, you were like, okay, this is not.
No.
Yeah.
But
out of the many things I do hear about Colombia, it is always getting more expensive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's where I was just like, well, I feel like that's something I wish I would have just still gone, because like you said, like you met so many designers, so many photographers, so many like models, and like for me, I feel like, yeah, COD, I was so grateful with like the small little community that we had there, because we were all like helping each other out.
Yeah.
We were going on like I was telling you, I don't remember if it was on or off camera, we did like photo trips where we just like, we would walk around like small towns and just take photos of everything. So it was really cool to just like be a little bit more intimate with like the community that we had there.
Yeah.
But
not as many contacts.
Not as many as like for you, like Columbia College was.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that was something that I feel like I could have done, still figured out a way to like done. But moving on, I think the first topic that we're gonna talk about is our.
We have a list.
Yeah, we have a list.
If you see us looking down, we have a list, by the way.
We have a list. I'm gonna turn the car off.
Oh yeah. I'm warm now.
I'm getting a little toasty.
That's fair. I'm actually neutral finally.
Oh
I was
my
cold
gosh.
before.
I'm like almost sweating.
Well, then this will be great. We have our denim jackets. You're sweating and I'm cold. Balanced out. So next question.
So basically, we're gonna talk about like our first time working together. Going back to our shoot that we did at February of technically 2025.
Yeah.
And basically, I had this idea. It was a trend during that time of just shooting like cloth and just maybe changing the temperature of like the surroundings and stuff like that. So I really just saw so many people doing that trend, and I wanted to make that iteration myself or follow the trend. And I was just like thinking, I was pondering on like who to bring, and I wanted to, like how I said last episode, I wanted to make sure that I obviously brought the light contrast between dark and light, but also bring color contrast between blue and pink. They're opposites of each other, so I try to make sure that they were I'm tackling two things at once. But also, I didn't think anybody would more perfectly fit this photo shoot than Gracie, because it would be like, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing in front of the camera, and it was definitely a photo shoot where we can actually grow this idea to be something more. Because for me, how I do photo shoots, I like to just have like a concept of how it like the lighting is done, and then we figure out how to do the poses as we're going.
Yeah.
So that's how I like to do it. But one of the things that we wanted to talk about is basically the organization and on
Right.
how we did it. So, for me, I feel like the first step for anything for photo shoots that I like to do, I really try to see like either show everybody like my photo references, my video references,
Inspiration that you have
my
behind
inspirations. Usually I find most of those inspirations on like Instagram already. So I would just either send you that
Yeah,
stuff
which you
and
did, yeah.
and already, and I already know how it will look like at the end, which is like, let's just say it's like I already, like for me, I think it's just, this is because of my dyslexia, but I think in 3D. So
Oh.
I'm like, I feel like for me, I already know how the picture's gonna look like before it's actually taken, because I
Oh.
already have an idea of how the space looks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
already know what lighting I'm gonna
You knew
use.
exactly how it would turn
I know
out.
how you look. I know what outfits I'm already
Yeah.
thinking, like how we can make this happen and
Right,
all that.
right.
So I'm like, I already have the picture done in my head,
Huh.
and I just need to get it done. So for me, I think that is why photography is a little bit easier for me. But overall, I try to stay organized as far as try to make sure that the model understands, the makeup
Right,
artist
right.
understands, and any other collaborators that we might have for like photo shoots.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You definitely did communicate your ideas with the vision. You communicated your vision really, really well. I have worked with some photographers who don't know how to do that as much, and I have worked with photographers who want something very specific. And it's nice that with our shoot that we did, that you did have specific inspiration, but it was kind of like, let's work together to put something together, and we'll kind of get to mesh our own ideas, our collaborative experience. Just if it ends up being something completely new within this realm, then so be it. And it was. I feel like we got to do, we did get to do a few different types of shots. We did the beauty shots.
Yeah.
And we also did, with the light, which was really cool. But I really appreciated how organized you were, because it kind of gave me already this feeling of, well, one, we had a few calls ahead of time. That was something that was really helpful. We had a few FaceTime calls, kind of just talking about everything. It wasn't all just done over text, which I appreciated. Like, I already knew you, but I feel like it definitely helps, especially when you're working with someone that you've never worked with before, to kind of have that like back and forth over a phone call, over a FaceTime. Because sometimes things can get misinterpreted when you just send it all text information. So I appreciate that we did that.
I think it's because for me, more than anything, I am just a phone caller. I'm very much like a FaceTime person, where it's just like, I need to see if you understand what I'm trying to say. And like, I don't trust my writing abilities to just be like, hey, does this make sense?
Oh, okay.
So I think for me, just knowing that I have the time to actually explain myself, whether that be a phone call, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, knowing that I have that time to just like say more words instead of reading like maybe like a page of text, try to put that all together.
Yeah.
Knowing that I probably like misspelled something, or like the grammar doesn't sound right or something like that. So,
Posh.
but like for me, it's just like, I don't want any type of miscommunication, so I have to be like clear,
You want to
or
explain it fully.
and all that.
No, that makes sense. And I appreciated that you did do it that way, because sometimes when things are communicated via text, it is easy to forget some things, or there can be miscommunications. So I did like that we had fuller, more full conversations. You showed me your inspiration for the makeup. You showed me your inspiration for the lighting, for the design, for how we would set it up. And then you asked me what I could bring to that, which I appreciated. So within this shoot, I brought my own jewelry.
Yeah.
To remember, I did bring my own jewelry, and I brought the garments. So for this shoot, you wanted me to wear something black, which would go great with the white cloth fabric. And we had a thought of the suit.
Mm-hmm.
A suit or a dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought both. And I like the idea of options. I always love options. So
we always love the third option.
And we love a third option. That's true. I did bring, I think I brought 2 dresses and a suit because I wanted us to be able to see all of it. And that's another tip that I have for when it comes to models. If you can bring more options when you're collaborating with somebody, I always say bring it. I mean, if you have a backpack or if you have a model bag, like a duffel bag, I mean, you never know where the idea will go. And it just ended up working out that we loved we loved the suit option so much that we went with that. But I think it was just really helpful getting to bring all of my options that we didn't even have our hearts super set on, but we talked about. And you got to look at them and you were like, oh, it's like, it's good to see it here in person. And then we went with the suit and the suit looked good. And I love a suit. Yeah. So that was fun.
And I think going back to the text portion of it, it's more of just like, well, when you're texting, I feel like, yes, you have like, let's just say a 10 to 15 minute back and forth, if you're both available at the same time. But it's more of just like, oh, I need to get back to that, or I need to remember what we said before to get all that. I think for me, when I have a text conversation, I need to remember what I said before, or like what they said, like let's just say 3 hours ago or even days ago, to actually be on the same page. So I think explaining all that and having an hour conversation, you remember it more, or you ponder about it after the conversation. Be like, oh, okay, let me bring my watches, let me bring more accessories, let me bring more dresses or anything like that.
Yeah, and that is the feeling that I got from that. The feeling that I got from you of like, hey, let's create something, like getting to just talk fully about it definitely made me feel like, ooh, looking back in my closet, like, ooh, I think I'll bring this extra thing just in case. Like, it seems like we could have fun with it, and we did like getting to have those ideas. So extras are good. And of course we had a fantastic makeup artist who was there taking all the pressure and stress off of me from doing makeup. I mean, that was great. And we can obviously, I'm sure in another episode we can talk about what it's like with like outsourcing other creatives to work on projects. I'm sure we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah,
but she was fantastic.
Yeah, Eternity.
She was great.
So now I'm going to talk about a little bit about the expectations for behind the camera. So this would be something along the lines of what I would expect from a model as far as work, not only collaborating, but like what I would expect them to at least know a little bit about. And the first thing I would really, probably top of the list is probably how body aware are you? So like when I say that, I'm like, how much micro adjustments?
Sorry, adjusting.
You're good.
Micro adjusting the shower.
How much micro adjustments can you actually do? So like, could you actually just move your index finger by itself if I tell you to like move it closer together, or move it out, or just tilt your head just a little bit, or relax your shoulder just a little bit? Like those micro adjustments.
I do a lot.
Where it's like you don't move the rest of your body, just that body part that I told you. And I feel like for every model, it's very, like, you don't have to, like, look down at your hand to actually, like, move where it is. You just move it by itself rather than looking down. So I think that's my top thing that I see first.
Oh, interesting.
When I'm, like, we're taking, like, the first couple pictures or something like that. Or as we're moving along, I'm like, oh, this model is not body awareness. I have to give a little bit more direction. Or if they are a little body more awareness, I don't give that much direction, and they already know how to do like those micro adjustments and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because there will be times when either working with you or working with someone else where it'll be like, oh my gosh, hold your face in that pose, but just move your hands a little bit more to the right, or just move your feet a little bit more outwards. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to hold something, So it's good to kind of have that body awareness, which comes from also practicing, I think, on your own, and also just through experience of getting to work with more shoots and more people and being in front of the camera. But yeah, it is a good tip with being more aware of how you can adjust your body without seeing yourself. That takes practice for a lot of people, and also it just takes practice. I think the more you do it, the better you get at it.
And that goes kind of into my second point, which is like direction. Just like I already mentioned it a little bit, as far as a model should be able to take direction as far as either, well, many photographers are going to work a little bit differently, but hopefully, like, I feel like I did it a lot with you. Be like, hey, look, tilt your head a little this way. I use my hand, or I use like I point to my chin, and tell you like go this way, go up and down.
Right.
I do that a lot because I'm just like, hey, just move only this body, and then just go this way. Or I tell them to like look at my finger and then just point to a direction or anything like that. So it's more of just like, don't move your whole body again, and then just only move the body part that I tell you. So I think taking direction is definitely something that either the photographer should know how to do it, but also
how to give that direction.
Yeah.
And then also with the model, learning how to understand the direction given by and then executing it. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That definitely takes practice, but it definitely goes a long way when you know how to do it.
And I know,
sure.
I have heard of it a couple times from different models that like, they sometimes, when photographers give directions, when they say left side, it's actually they meant the right side. And I'm just like, it does take like, I would say like maybe 5 to 10 minutes from like the model to understand like, oh, do they need to invert their directions or not? So I know I have heard of it a couple times where like they do mean that, but it kind of just depends on the photographer. It goes back and forth
on what they'd say.
On what they say, they either I like to do the mirror aspect, and just like, hey, turn your shoulders this way or this way, and they would just mirror me. Or tell them like their actual body part, like, hey, move your left arm this way, or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So
that way there's less room for
error.
No, that makes sense. Or I do appreciate when a photographer will be like, okay, you move to your left, my right. Or they'll be like, move, to this angle of the room, which is my angle of the room. And I do appreciate that they specify that.
Yeah. And okay, this kind of goes off to my next point, which is something completely different, which is kind of just lighting. I feel like a model should know a little bit about lighting and how it would hit either their body or their face or anything like that. So I kind of almost take it like, where is their key light? People will say main light. People will say source of light, whatever that may be, and just be like, how is that hitting your body? So we can just take it for an example, like we have a light on top of our camera, so it's just like, how is that light hitting us? This kind of looks flat. If I turn my face a little bit and the camera is shooting me this way, I see a little bit of more contrast on this side. So it kind of just depends on where the light is hitting on us. So I always tell people like, hey, pose towards the light, or pose a little bit away from the light. I always kind of say it as far as like, if this light that's right in front of us, I always consider that my 0 degrees, and I say like, hey, move 35 degrees. So this would be my 35 degrees, and this would be my 35 degrees. I would tell them like, learn your 35s, 45s, and 90 degrees, because those would be the perspectives that you would always. It's always useful for any type of situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting. I don't normally hear photographers refer to it as that, or maybe I will, but they won't use the numbers. But honestly, having that idea in your head already practiced is good. Of course, it does help to be a visual thinker, and not everyone is.
Yeah.
But when you say it like that, and if I were to be able to practice that, like, okay, if the camera is right in front of me,
That's 0. No, I always
that'd
say
be
I
0.
always say either the camera or the light,
Or the light.
depending on whatever the photographer is like wanting to do a little bit more.
Okay.
But mostly 99% of the time it would be the camera.
The camera. Okay, yeah. And I can see how having the understanding of practicing ahead of time, especially where the 45 is, and then if this is the 45,
yeah.
like the 35.
Exactly.
And just a little bit,
A little bit more in.
A little bit more in. So
and
you
almost
see a little bit more of...
Almost take it like a protractor. Have you ever like...
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm visualizing right now. Yeah.
Exactly. You have the full 180, but...
Right.
That would be 45. This would be 35. This would be 0, 35, 45, 180.
Yeah.
Or 90. Or 90.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And
So,
that is good to know.
Yeah.
When you're working as a photographer or a model, is knowing the angles according to the light and according to the camera.
Yeah, and like just going off of let's just get off the topic of like fashion photo shoots for a second. Like for headshots, you would literally do the exact same thing. You would pose them looking straight at the camera. You would pose them either 35 or 45 degrees one side, switch to the other side, and then you have 3 different angles of the same person, and they would just get that option. I always pose people in the 35 or 45, just depending on either their face type or body type or anything like that.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I think like you can use this in so many different aspects of not only fashion, but also like headshots for corporate.
Right. Yeah. No, that definitely that'll come in handy in multiple different senses.
But my last point for like my expectations behind the camera is also, I think this kind of goes back to body awareness too, but it is something I feel like it's its own separate topic, which is angle perspective. So what I mean by that is just like, I think it kind of goes off of like, am I shooting eye level or am I shooting below eye level, above eye level? It's kind of just like, if I'm shooting below eye level, what is that going to do? It's going to make you look taller. It's going to make you warp your body. You're going to have longer arms, longer legs, longer everything.
Right.
But also, the opposite is true. If I shoot above you, then you're going to look smaller, but you can still have warped stuff,
right,
or either shorter arms or longer arms if you're reaching towards the camera.
Yeah.
So that's another thing as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And getting to be part of those photo shoots, I mean, not every opportunity has those types of fun angles, but getting to be part of those photo shoots where you get to see yourself with different angles and getting to have that experience does help you going forward, I think. Because then you get to understand, like, okay, wow, yeah, if I do have my arms this certain length away from the camera, they will look a certain way. Or if I have my head sticking out towards the camera in a certain way, it'll make my neck look a certain way. And just getting that practice. And
I say this to a lot of people. If you feel that you're in an awkward position, you're probably doing it right.
Yeah. there's so many I know the very feeling. There are so many poses where it'll be like, this looks and feels awkward, but I mean, the camera's in a certain position, the light's in a certain position, like if the photographer who's the one who can see it, if they're not telling you, if they're not saying like, try something different, or if they're not correcting you, you're probably spot on. Or you very well might be spot on, even if it doesn't feel natural. Like that's the thing with modeling. I'm sorry, I know we were on your thing.
You're good.
But that's the thing with modeling. It's not always going to feel natural. It's all literally posing. You know, posing doesn't always feel natural. It's you're moving your body to look a certain way. Many times it's not a natural looking way. But I think that's kind of the fun part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just ending off of that point, my last point is just literally understand how, if you want to do low angle photographs, that will be completely fine. Just understand that it could have like cause and effect, some pros and cons to it. So it's just like knowing how that will look like at the end is definitely something that you need to always keep in mind. And yeah, I mean that's my expectations, at least initially. If you understand those concepts,
Right.
there's probably more that I'm missing, but I feel like those are like the main ones that I always look out for when I'm working with somebody new, because
Those are big ones, yeah.
yeah, those are big ones. But also the if I feel like for someone like you that knows not, if you know one of those, I already know that you're a professional model, because one goes a long way. If I don't have to
Absolutely.
worry about like you being body aware and you just do taking direction
Right.
or like anything like that, then I know that the I can worry about one less thing. The less I can worry about as far as like direction or like the end pro or how the end product goes, is more of like the more variety we can do with experimenting with so many different aspects of it. So
Right.
I think if you can tackle one, you're amazing. If you tackle more than one,
You're
you're
set.
like
You're doing
god
great.
tier, god tier.
You're gonna do great. You're gonna
Yeah.
do great then.
Yeah. So that's something that it took me a while to actually like put this together, but I feel like those were like the main points that I would have for a model if I'm working with somebody.
And actually, I have a feeling we could. I feel like we could talk more about this even more, especially with um, a especially with a shooting experience you had recently, and also shooting experiences that I've had recently that don't even extend that go beyond what I've written on this list. That we could talk more and more about what it's like receiving work back from like a photographer, or what it's like working with a model, and what it's like post-editing process, and what it's like,
We have that another episode.
Absolutely. No, I was
Yeah.
going to say, because we could definitely talk more about that. But as you were saying, those are definitely big things I can see that would be huge expectations that you would be, that go a long way if a model does know those things. But as you're saying it, I'm thinking about like, oh, actually, these other things are like really important. But we can always talk about that in another episode. We have more to share.
Yeah, we have another episode actually dedicated about that.
Dedicated to that. No, that'd be helpful. Should I go into my thing?
Yes.
Okay, so don't mind me squirming around. I just don't like to sit still, and I love to lean. Okay, I'm just gonna take a deep breath. I'm wearing like a tight denim jacket, which looks great on camera, but by the way, is like so not comfortable.
I think we're gonna take a quick 2-second break.
Okay.
So I can take off my jacket, and then
I'm gonna leave on my jacket.
Okay, I'm just gonna take off mine.
Because it's for the outfit. Okay, so should we clap for the pause?
No,
or are we just gonna say pause?
Yeah, we're gonna just come right back into it.
Okay, pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're back.
And now he's not wearing his jacket. I thought it would have been funny to be like, and then you pop on the screen without a jacket. Whoa! Fast transition. That didn't. Never mind. Okay. Okay, my turn. Okay, my turn. Sorry. I forgot that with this not an interview, with this style of episode, we have like more formal thoughts. Where I was like trying to be super stern, and I was trying to be like, okay, I'm in professional mode now, but I definitely ended up holding my breath while you were talking. Okay.
You don't have to. That's the thing. I'm like.
I know, but it's definitely more structured than the last episode. So I'm like trying to remember all my structured thoughts.
But also like that's the point of this too. Like we want to like have like structured videos, but also like not structured videos as well, for us to have the banter. So like
right.
I think the first episode, it was very not structured. It was very just like, hey, let's just yap to yap.
That was so easy.
Yeah, it was very easy, but also like I know you wanted to do a little bit more structured, and figure out how to do this. So, and I also think that like it's never enough to listen to these tips and tricks again and again from so many different people.
Right.
Because I hear this, like, I don't remember where I heard this, but I'm just like from a teacher, I believe. They told me like, you are not going to remember what I said this lesson or anything like that. You're not going to remember what I said today, but you are going to remember it when you hear it again from somebody else. So
Interesting.
yes, so that's why I feel like he said it like that, because he was just like, try to teach the student that's right next to you.
Oh, huh.
So that you remember it a lot better, and you hear it from somebody else.
So like he was teaching his students to know how to teach others.
Exactly.
And then it therefore solidifies their own knowledge.
Exactly. So that
makes
you
sense.
remember it
understand
a
that.
lot more. So I mean, these tips and tricks or these expectations that we have for one another, it's never too much to hear it again.
There you go. So if you don't remember any of this that we're telling you, someone else will tell you, and then you'll remember it.
Exactly. And you'll remember it came from the Ride of Our Lives radio.
Ride of Our Lives radio. It's a podcast, but
No.
it's called radio.
It's called radio.
Yeah. Going into, okay.
Side tangent, I'm already talking to people that are making the logo for us.
Are you actually?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. Okay. No, I'm glad you were able to. Did you put out like a feeler for?
I basically created the mood board. So I got it. I'll show you after.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Exciting things to come. Exciting things to come.
By now,
you'll know it when it's there.
Yeah, by now, but at this time, it should already be done and already be in there. But I'm just saying, like,
I know this is fun. The process of how it's coming about. Okay, so going into expectations for being the person in front of the camera. I talked a little bit about.
We're gonna wait a second.
Yeah, and I hope everyone's okay.
Expectations in front of the camera.
Expectations in front of the camera. We did talk a little bit about what it's like to bring options. So, and this is actually what I was trying to figure out. What's hard to talk about, because I have a specific list that I always have in my model bag. So when you are a model in front of the camera, every model, whether they go to a shoot, whether they go to a show, whether they're even working someplace super close to home, I mean, it's always good to have a model bag, and that's just what it's called, which is normally often like either a backpack or a duffel bag of all of the essentials that you could need to bring. And that's why I didn't know exactly how to talk about this, because I feel like it's such a long list. It's such a long list that I have. But
just name a few.
I'll name a few. Actually, while I talk about this, I can actually bring it up and I can just even list it off the top of my head. So not to
To my own horn here.
I basically always have a checklist in my phone, like quite a decently long checklist of everything I have found is a good option to have. Often when I work with different photographers or designers or stylists, they'll say, "Oh, all you need to bring is like 1, 2, 3." But I bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because sometimes I'll go to a shoot or I'll go to a casting or a fitting. Well, not a casting, but I'll go to a fitting, and it's just great to have the extra thing. One thing is extra undergarments or extra underclothes, because you never know if the person you'll be working with is like, "Oh, actually, this look would be so much better if you had like black undergarments or nude undergarments." So I always bring extra. I always bring extra heels. You'll have a certain pair of modeling heels that I feel like goes with everything. It's like a tall black pair of heels. The kind of thing that you've seen them. Everyone, all the models always have like a tall black pair of heels. But I always bring extra heels, just in case, extra nude heels. And then another thing, a big tip, and I have the whole list here, which I can, should I like post that somewhere? Or should I like put a picture of it? Because I feel like these are good tips.
Okay.
These are good, these are the archive. These are the tips that I have learned of everything to bring just in case.
We're gonna create a PDF for you, and then
That's a good idea.
we'll create a PDF, and then we'll adjust it just a tad, and then we'll post it somewhere.
Yeah. But I will say, when it comes to bringing extra things, extra options are great, just like we talked about before. Like when it came to the shoot that I was doing with you, when we were talking specifically about either a dress or about a suit. So what I did was I decided to bring the extra option of, I brought a third dress, a third option. But within that, I brought heels and like undergarments that would work for each dress and the suit. And they weren't always the same, but it was good to have it just in case, because if we did go with something, I didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden uncomfortable, like, I wish I had this that I normally would wear with a suit, I'd normally wear with like a thin dress or something like that. It's always good to bring the extra options. And with that, another tip that I would say that not every stylist or designer will tell you is, if you work on a project and there is a makeup artist, bring your own makeup bag. Bring your own makeup bag, no matter what. Even if there is a makeup artist. I can't tell you how many times I've worked on a project and someone will be like, oh, I actually don't have your foundation shade because I'm really freaking pale. I can't tell you how many times I've worked on a project and it's just very easy to not have my shade because I am a very pale shade. Literally, my foundation shade is called Snow. I'm not even making that up. It's literally 01. It's 01. I'm wearing bronzer. If you think I have any sort of tan, I don't. Because I don't tan. I only burn. But it's great to just bring your own makeup bag either way. Bring your own makeup bag, bring your own foundation. Always have your own things of that, just in case. Even if there are professionals there who are supposed to be able to take care of all of it, it is great just to have it in peace of mind. Because I have worked with makeup artists where they'll be like, oh, you have your makeup bag? Oh my God, yes, please bring that out. Like, bring out your makeup bag. You can add your own, mascara, because a lot of models prefer to use their own mascara. Because it's kind of awkward to like be like, hey, I'm gonna like brush your lashes right now with mascara, and then you're like, it's a little bit difficult when you're not used to it. I know that all these tips that I'm talking about
is specifically for you.
It's very specifically for models, and I can also
and that's completely fine because this is what we want. We wanted
this
to
is
just.
what I want. Yeah.
This is like I talked about my perspective as a photographer, and this is the whole dynamic of how it should be. So it's
right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to.
Yeah.
I want to look out. I want to look out for everyone. I want to help out those who are especially new to this, because something I have learned with modeling for the past 6 years is it's interesting. At this point, now I have friends, and also not friends, but people who follow me or people I'll meet at shows or at shoots, where they'll be like, oh my gosh, like, you seem to like really know what you're doing. Like, can you give me advice about this, or can you give me tips and tricks about this? And it's like, yes, actually I can. Like, I actually can give tips on that. So it's like a really surreal moment getting to have that. Because I have learned a decent amount of things of what I would definitely tell someone working on a project, starting something new with this. And one of the things would be, what to bring in your model bag.
Because I feel like you're touching on the topic of like you put in the hours. You know?
I do.
Like,
I have very many. I have put in the hours.
I think it's very true that if you put like 10,000 hours in one thing, you are like considered an expert, or like whatever that saying goes.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think you definitely put in the hours for it, and you
so many hours.
and you have a lot of knowledge for this, and same goes for me. Like, I put in so many hours into this. I can at least say with confidence that this is a fact, or like this is a something that everybody should know, or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's really cool getting to. I mean, I am able to sit here and document the things that I want to communicate as things like, this is what I know to be true, but it is interesting knowing that I may look back at this episode one day and be like, oh my God, that was only a third of the things that I know now. And it's like, because I'm always going to be learning. And granted, I can also only speak on my experience as someone who is a freelance model. I mean, I'm sure many of these things will cross over for those who are part of an agency, those who, you know, do a lot of traveling with their modeling. But this is obviously, I can only speak from my experience, but it does translate a lot. The model bag. It's important to have many things in your model bag. Yes, overprepared is better than underprepared. But going along with that, let's see. Okay. A thing that I did want to touch on, I mean, I talked about things to bring. A lot of times what also is important, and I was able to touch on the fact that some people have actually asked me modeling tips now, which is really cool to get to see. And I always jump at the chance to be like, oh my God, yes, let me help you. Let me tell you what I wish I knew. Is when it comes to safety aspects. And I'm sure so many different models have been able to talk about their experiences, but when you work with someone brand new, it's, I mean, just like in many aspects of, in many different industries, I'm sure, when you work with someone new, they're a stranger, you can't tell for sure if they're going to be a friend towards you or if it's going to be strictly professional. But when it comes to modeling, there is also a safety aspect of like, my body is going to be on camera. My body's going to be on camera. I don't know exactly, depending on who you're working with, you don't know the person's intentions. But that's why it's important to do your research. It is important to do your research. When it comes to working with people that I only know strictly online, I literally stalk their page. Do not be afraid to stalk every single post on their page. I was just
about to ask, like, how do you do your research? Go through that process, because I'm like, research can mean so many different aspects for so many different people.
That's true. What I do first of all, if a photographer doesn't even have an Instagram page, or they have a very small Instagram page, I don't want to, well, if they don't have an Instagram page, to me that gives me red flags. And it could just be because we are in such a digital age where it's like, that is so unfamiliar to me, or maybe they're starting brand new, but that's something that I would want to have communicated to me, because if I see someone that doesn't have a full, like, if I see someone that has like maybe 2 or 3 photography posts on their Instagram, or no Instagram, but it's like I just have their name or their contact through someone else, then feel free to talk more to the photographer, being like, okay, what is your experience level? Like, I'm not able to see this on your Instagram, but I'm just curious, can you tell me a little bit more? What have you shot in the past? Or like, who are some other models that you've worked with? Because a big thing that I've learned is whether you work with someone who doesn't have a lot of publicly posted experience, or you've worked with someone who, in general, you feel like, I want to kind of learn more about this photographer, you can always ask someone else. That is a big tip I actually learned.
So overall, just ask questions.
Ask questions.
But also, like, make sure that you're asking questions that are basically valid more than anything.
Valid, completely. Because you're going to be on camera. And that's, I mean, whether you're brand new to modeling or you are more experienced, the very fact is that you will be photographed by somebody, and it's important to have a kind of trusting relationship of knowing what they'll be able to bring to the table, and knowing that you can be safe. Because when you work with strangers, you never really know. And many times also, well, not many times, I mean, I've experienced this many times, but you won't always be wearing like head to toe full on clothing. Sometimes I will be in a garment that is a little bit more skin revealing, and it's like, okay, I will definitely want to make sure I know what this person's, credentials are, their, respectability. I will want to obviously know that if I'm especially not going to be wearing a lot of clothing, that's something that I wanted to do research on ahead of time, which I did.
Yeah, and even like for our shoot, even going back to just our shoot in particular, right. I even told you specifically, like, hey, I want you to wear a suit with a white shirt, and more specifically, it was more like, hey, I have envisioned this with either a white T-shirt or you actually brought it up, like, hey, I will feel comfortable if I do it without
no shirt,
no shirt,
shirtless,
and then And then I didn't
Yeah.
even notice until I was like editing. You had your pasties on, and I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay. So I didn't have to worry about anything.
Right.
But also, I'm like, yeah, it's more of just like I never offered that. I never even suggested that. But it's more of just like, oh, this is our first time working together. I didn't want to push that boundary.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was definitely something that like. It kind of also depends on like the photographer too.
Does depend,
like
for sure.
if they want to push that boundary or not, which there's nothing wrong with it either, but it's more of just like for me, I'm always careful.
You always err on the side of caution
Yeah.
when it comes to like a model showing off parts of their body.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, because what you do is fashion photography. You want
Yeah.
to focus on the clothes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or the concept.
Or the concept.
Or whatever that may be.
Right. No, absolutely. And I have worked with photographers before where they will say like, and we were thinking for this look, it's going to be like a completely sheer shirt or a completely sheer dress. Like, and I absolutely always appreciate the designers or the stylists that will say, next sentence after that, are you comfortable with that? Like, that was the idea. Are you comfortable with this? Is this something that you are comfortable with? I mean, I have worked with some people who were saying like, this is going to be what it is. And that's the look. You know, you may have like a bare chest and you would always wear pasties or something that would cover your nipples just so that, you know, so you can feel comfortable there. And then also an editing process is just better to have. But I always do appreciate the ones who...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The camera died. Again. So we're going back in. I'm trying to remember what sentence I was talking about. I was talking about nipples is what I was talking about. Cover them nips, girl. If you want. I mean, you actually don't have to. It's all about what you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
It's all about what you're comfortable with.
And that's where we're trying to leave off by the end of the day is just like you just have to be comfortable with the photographer, comfortable with yourself,
right.
And comfortable what's going to be on basically in the internet.
Yes. And
I think we should go on to the next subject.
We should. I do want to say one more thing with that. The biggest thing that I want to say, which I think I already touched on, is asking questions is important. It's very important. Ask whatever you want to know so that you don't go into that shoot feeling like, I don't know about this, or I don't know if I feel comfortable with this. Like, and if that feeling persists, then actually maybe it's your gut telling you that maybe this is not the kind of partnership that you want to work with, which is also okay. But going in with that, it's perfectly okay to also ask other people that this person has worked with. That's honestly something I have had to do a few times at the beginning of when I was modeling. Was I actually ended up reaching out to some other models. Well, it happened twice with 2 different photographers, where I ended up reaching out to a model that I saw that the photographer had worked with in the past, but I saw they didn't have many people that they worked with, or it was someone who was, like, I was a model in college, of college age, and this photographer was much older than me, so I wanted to get an idea of what it was like to work with him. So I reached out to a model that I saw he shot with before, and I literally just asked her, I literally just said like, hey, my name is this, I know you don't know me, but I'm about to work with this photographer on this shoot that you had, and I was wondering if you could just kind of give me a sense of how did that go for you, like, I'm new to this, or was it really interpersonable, like, were you uncomfortable at all? And honestly, having other models just completely answer my questions, be honest with me, was so, so helpful. And both those shooting experiences ended up being great, actually. So, but I would have regretted not asking somebody else. It's perfectly okay to ask somebody else on the side, just being like, hey, I'm curious of what this person is like. I've never worked with them, or I'm new to this. Can you give me some advice? Like, I see that you worked with them before. Like, what can you tell me? I have found that that goes a long way. So do not doubt yourself if you have questions and you don't have answers yet. It's always better to ask than not ask at all. And that's a big safety tip that I definitely give. But I didn't have to ask that with you, because I actually already got that feeling from you, I will say. You already gave off this feeling of interpersonableness that I really appreciated. Like, you already advocated for the fact that you want me to be comfortable, like, from the very beginning of the idea stages. So I really appreciated that.
Oh, thank you for
That's
saying that,
important.
too. more than anything, like,
Yeah.
for me, I just try to make sure that everybody feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Whether that be like, hey, someone bring a friend, or
You can always bring a friend to a photo shoot too.
and just trying to make sure that everybody feels comfortable. I try to make sure, like, hey, when you do like a wardrobe adjustment, I'm always like looking away or making sure that everybody has their space to just do their own thing. And whatever you feel comfortable, okay, I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I would rather, like how you said before, go on the side of caution.
Err on the side of caution than.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And on the same side, err on the side of asking questions. Ask everything that you want to ask. Like, listen to yourself. Listen to your gut. Listen to your comfortability. It's there to tell you what you need to know. So. Should we go into the third part?
Yeah, the last part that we want to talk about is actually teamwork.
Teamwork!
And we actually touched on this a little bit for as far as like how we should be working together. But I feel like by the end of it, it's kind of just like the first point that we have on here is tiny details. And for me, I think of it as like hair adjustment, labels on clothes. If it's like, oh, you just bought it at a store, you didn't cut off the label, or making sure, if like, I know models do this all the time, they don't want to cut the table or the labels, so we just hide it in the clothes or anything like that. What's another tiny detail that you can think of? Ooh, hairbands.
Oh yeah, often you can leave a hairband on, or you can accidentally leave your own jewelry on when you're trying on a look, but it might not go with the look always. So make that be something you either ask the photographer or the stylist with directly, being like, should I leave all of my earrings in? Should I?
Or do a mirror check.
Or do a mirror check.
A mirror check of like, hey, checking your earrings, checking your necklace, checking your rings. Like, check things that you are comfortable looking at almost every single day, which might take a little bit more like awareness, because you're like, oh, like for me, I wear these watches all the time, I don't even feel them anymore. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I have to take them off. So, or anything like that.
And another thing with that is sometimes when being the model and working with either only a photographer, or actually when I think of that, when the times when I've worked only with a photographer, but I don't have someone specifically helping me, like more detail wise with my wardrobe, I will literally, like while I'm changing into the garment and the photographer is setting up, I will literally go into the bathroom, I will put my phone somewhere and I will record and I step back and I do a whole video so that I can kind of see, looking back, like, oh, my hair is like doing something weird, or oh, there's a deodorant stain on the back of my shirt, but I never would have seen that. And obviously these things can be edited by a photographer who knows how to edit.
But if we can fix that beforehand,
it's much better.
It's a lot easier because you don't have to do that every single time you're editing those pictures. So like the tiny details do matter.
They definitely do.
Let's just say for another thing, like tying your shoelace, tucking in the laces or not, or cuffing up the pants, or like I don't know, like
making sure the collar is adjusted.
I think
making sure that when you wear your jewelry, if you are going to be modeling with jewelry, making sure it's adjusted right. Like if you have a watch that's too big and it's like falling down, or it's not facing the right way, or you have a ring that's too big, you want to like make sure it's all adjusted so it all faces the camera.
Exactly.
Things like that.
Yeah, I think
details matter.
Details do matter, and
so it's whether to keep in mind.
And it's also, this doesn't go only for photographers and models. It can also go for stylists, photo assistants, or anybody there that is just there to help.
Absolutely.
So it's more of just like a photographer and model already have so many things that are going on in our minds. The more that you can help for those tiny details. Please don't be afraid to just speak up.
Or to adjust it.
Literally
adjust it. Don't even give it a second thought. I will say I haven't.
I would say.
I guess if you're on camera, that's a little different.
If you're on camera, you can adjust. ask before you go in, because
Before you go in.
I would say, like, sometimes when I have the shot, even if it's like I know I can fix it post production, I'm like, if someone walks in, that's where I'm just like, okay, like, you should have asked before you went into the photo.
That makes sense.
So,
That's part of respect thing, I think. That makes sense, is ask the photographer once they're on set.
It also depends on the situation too. Like, if you just started and we're like, we haven't gotten there, we're not in the flow yet.
Yeah, and that would make sense while you're going and adjusting things.
Yeah.
Because I have seen before where someone will have like a hair that'll just stick to them, or a thread that'll stick to them, and it's like, oh, that's such an easy thing to like just take off.
Yeah.
But it's like you want to do that obviously ahead of time so that someone doesn't have to edit it later on. And it's like such a small thing that you wouldn't think about. So do like full body checks, like check the top of your head, the back of your head when it comes to like a video.
And again, we would like to I would like to very much specify, if you do see that tiny detail, speak about it first and then ask to go in and fix it, or like the model fix it, or the photographer fix it. So
no, that's true. Yeah. That's true. That's actually a good thing. I'm so used to many people just coming up and touching me and adjusting me and fixing me and moving me that it actually would be nice if someone was like, hey, you have something on the bottom of your chin. Can I like pull it off, or can I do this? But I'm so used to just being poked and prodded. But it's nice. It's better to be asked.
Yeah. That actually goes into our second topic, which is just checking in with each other.
Checking in is super important.
Like, do you need a break? Do you need a water? Do you like? Are you feeling comfortable? Or like?
Right.
There are so many things that are just like whether the photographer's checking in with the model, or the model's checking in with the photographer.
Right. No, I mean, just like any project where you're collaborating with someone, or even if it's not super collaborative, but you're working with another person, I think it goes above and beyond getting to have that space to be like, hey, just checking in. We've been shooting for a couple of hours. Like, should we take a break? Like, you've been at the camera. Like, something I will notice for photographers when the shoot is long, I'll be like, I know you've been at your camera for so long. You have been standing. You have been kneeling, trying to get all these shots. Do you want to take a break? I can take a break if you want to take a break.
Literally, the first time I've ever experienced that was from a friend of mine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You saw my pinky, right? I was like, welcome back.
We've done this so many times now, and you don't even get to witness all the in between. But
I think we're gonna definitely have this figured out for the next podcast for sure.
Figuring out camera duration.
But this is great practice. So
guide again, if that's okay, because you're back on now.
Yes.
And we're gonna give our last point.
Our last point, as far as teamwork, which is
teamwork.
Just constructive criticism. I think this is a very good point for both of us, because at least for the both of us, we both have suggestions on how we can make the shoot better, and I feel like it's good for not only me as a photographer to get like a little break of just like, oh, what else can I do? Like, I don't want to be like the sole person to just like, he should always know everything, or he should always know like how to enhance it to the next level. I'm just like, just take a breath, and maybe with that constructive criticism from anybody, then you're like, okay, now I know how to make it, or that's how you get over that little creative hurdle.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is good, and I think that also comes with. I mean, it's a different side of checking in, but it's part of checking in is like checking in with like the project, not just with someone's comfortability, but checking in with like, so like, what do we want to do with this aspect? Or if I notice that or if the photographer is feeling kind of frustrated and they're like, no, that isn't right, or no, that isn't right, and I'll be like, hey, like, oh, so what are we trying to do at this point? Like, what is it that your vision wants? Like, what can I change? Like, what can I help with? Or with that, if they will tell me. If they're like, oh, I want it to be a little bit more eerie, or I want it to look more dreamy. And then with that aspect, it's nice when it isn't just one person's responsibility, because then I, as the model can be like, oh, okay, what if I, and I can make a suggestion. What if I like actually look down and I go back in the camera and I look a little bit more stern at the camera to make it more eerie? Or I can like angle my hands in a certain way, or I can angle my hands in a certain way if I'm going to make it more dreamy. Like adding in those suggestions just to add the idea in.
And for the photographer's point of view, I think we also have to be able to take that criticism or just to do that suggestion, because this shouldn't ever have to be like ego involved at all, because
same with the model side, yeah.
Because it's just like we're here to experiment on how to execute this the best way, because whether that we already have how the final look could be, what if there's something better? Or some people, it also depends on every photographer. Maybe they already have something set in stone and they don't want to try anything. But like in my experience, or I'm just doing how you would shoot with me, I always encourage like, hey, let's try something else, or like, hey, I'll let you do your own thing, or like let's take that constructive criticism.
Right. And I'm the same. That's kind of why we work well together. Yeah. I'm also the same way as a model, where it's like if a photographer will be like, hey, just curious, I know we didn't talk about this, but what if we tried it like this? Are you cool with doing that? Or can you do that? Or can you balance on that? Or can you try something new? And it's like, I mean, if I specifically can't, or if I'm uncomfortable with doing any of it, I will voice that, because that's also important to advocate for yourself. But if I can, and I 9 times out of 10, actually 12 times out of 10, I'm like down. I'm like, yes, let's try something new, let's try something fun, and just taking that criticism, because even if it doesn't end up being the final shot, and even if later we both discover that it's like, oh, that didn't work as good as we were thinking, at least we tried it.
We got it done.
We got it done, and that's okay.
Yeah. So now we're going to do our by the end of the day segment.
Our by the end of the day segment. It's not at the end of the day, it's by the end of the day. You have it at the end of the day. At the end of the day. It's his catchphrase.
Yeah, my catchphrase is, for the people who actually know me personally, I say by the end of the day a lot. So we're going to try to add this in to most episodes, where we give our little advice on either the topics that we've talked about for this episode, or just anybody's piece of advice, whether that be life advice, career advice, or whatever that may be. So,
what would your by the end of the day?
I think my by the end of the day advice would be, I think I said, body awareness and micro adjustments for the model. I feel like if you master that, as far as you have your let's just say signature 10 poses, and you do micro adjustments so you can get like those, let's just say 5 variations of that one pose, you have more than enough poses and variations between everything to give a variety to like a client or to a photographer or to whoever that may be.
Yeah.
So I think body awareness is very crucial in this industry. So, but yeah, I think that's my advice.
Absolutely. That does go a long way. And then if I were to give a piece of advice, by the end of the day, something that's super important to me that I'm glad I learned, and I'm glad I can share this, is listen to your gut. And I can speak specifically when it comes to my experience as a model, is like, you may be working with people who may not be so interpersonal. You may be working with people who are reaching out to you and maybe either don't have the best intentions, or are reaching out to you and they just don't know how to have a great shoot yet. Either way, ask all the questions, do your research, ask other people. It's always okay to ask other people. You can always ask other models. In my experience, we just want to help each other out. I don't know if that's just the Midwestern modeling scene, but in my experience, we want to help each other out. And go with your gut. Listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you if you're feeling uncomfortable, and you never ever want to go into any shooting experience feeling like uncomfortable.
And in my
it tells you a lot.
And in my experience, a woman's intuition is like 9 out of 10 correct.
Right. It's right. Listen to your intuition. Yeah. I've had other models reach out to me doing the exact same thing, saying like, hey, I'm going to work with this photographer. I'm going to work with this designer. And I'm just curious what it was like. Literally, people have asked me that. And I've been able to say, actually, I can tell you from my personal experience, this is what I learned about this person. Or this is great. Like I had a great experience, and I'm glad to share that. So never doubt yourself. If your gut is telling you that there are some red flags, listen to that. It's really important. You listen to your body. It's a big
Thank
thing.
you so much for tuning in, guys.
Before the camera dies again.
Before the camera dies again.
That's literally on the back of our minds.
Exactly. So,
okay, so thank you so much. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great night. And wait, what do you want to say?
I was going to say thank you for tuning in to the Ride of Our Lives Radio, and we'll see you at the next one.
We'll see you the next one. Bye.
Wait, we did the whoosh. Do you want to end that?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh.
I don't know if we're going to...
I think it's good.